Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And today we have the preview of the Toronto Argonauts, the Grey Cup defending champions. So, how are we feeling about this team? A few changes have been made, a few major changes have been made to this team. The general core in terms of the depth of this team hasn't changed too much, just a few pieces kind of at the top there. But how are we feeling? As I gotta ask you here, Rick, as someone who is soon going to go to BMO Field and get himself a Grey Cup ring because his team can't win any. How do you feel about the Toronto Argonauts there, Rick?
Listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this politely. If I got to sit through a banner raising at their home opener,
oh boy,
you can darn tootin' hootin' that I'm getting a ring, a replica ring, if I got to sit through that half an hour. And here's the funny thing, is that it's on a Sunday at 7:30 on a Sunday.
Yep.
So now you have to do half an hour banner raising. So the
Doesn't
game
take
starts
half an hour.
7. Well, I mean, they got to introduce the team and everything.
It should be about 15 minutes.
But
I've went through this process twice. I know how it works.
But I mean, by the time the game's over, you're looking at like 10:30, 11 on a Sunday night. Like, they should be doing this on like a Friday or Saturday.
Nah, that's fair. So, like, I gotta ask then, like, how are we feeling about this? Because there's a few really key pieces of this team missing. Most notably being McLeod Bethel Thompson is off to the United States. He is with the New Orleans Breakers and of the USFL. So it looks like they've decided that Chad Kelly is ready for it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting the reminiscence of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. All right, I think it's time to move on from Jeremiah Mazzoli. Dane Evans, now's your chance. I'm getting shades of that. I'm getting shades of that with Chad Kelly here. And so I am not convinced that Chad Kelly is ready. I think Chad Kelly will have a few games where he'll really, really play well, and he'll show those signs that he did show in the Grey Cup. However, does he have the consistency to go through the entirety of the season playing like that? I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, funny note, I have the numbers in front of me.
Yes.
So last year was his first year. Passing, he went 26 for 45.
Okay.
297, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's passing.
Ouch.
Rushing, he got 25 carries, 137 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Although, to be fair, you also have to realize, though, that because he was playing as a backup, when short yardage comes in, they're going to throw Chad Kelly out there.
That's what I was getting at, is that he was
like, those numbers, they sound better than they are. Like,
yes. So he was the backup and short yardage quarterback last year.
Because short yardage quarterbacks are going to have more touchdowns generally.
Yeah. This year, okay, this goes back to, how do I say, because we've done so many of these, and all teams with quarterbacks are all the same. So right now, I don't know if Ben Holmes is going to be the backup or Brian Scott. Holmes was the 3rd string quarterback last year, and he started with Edmonton last year, got cut from Edmonton, and signed on with Toronto. He has no passes completed. Then you have Brian Scott. Brian Scott played 3 games in the USFL. Then he got cut. So you have 2 question mark quarterbacks. I haven't been to their training camp, so I don't know if they're good, they're bad, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But I was told by an undisclosed fan, I'm not going to mention names, he knows who he is.
And I think I know who this is, right?
That, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That if I was said, watch, because we're going to the game tomorrow in Hamilton, if Chad Kelly gets injured, I was told not to bring the voodoo near him because I have a funny feeling Chad Kelly's going to get injured.
He's gonna get injured in preseason. This is gonna happen.
Between he'll play one quarter tomorrow and then he'll be done. Like not injured, just not play.
Yeah.
Then next week they play Ottawa in Guelph. He'll get at least 2 quarters out of that. Because training camp, you're not going full all out against your defense. You're, what is it, 2-hand touch, and then that's pretty much it.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I mean, outside of that, the only difference that I'm gonna say about their receiving core is
No Brandon Banks.
I was gonna say they got
The
rid
Antonio Brown of the Canadian Football League is out of Toronto.
the high school
What
kid
a
of
surprise.
the high
Not
school
really.
kid of
Starting
the CFL.
fights that he couldn't win on the sidelines.
But then they replaced him with David Unger the third from Hamilton.
The third.
So a Hamilton receiver leaves and another one comes in. So the thing is, like you said, they have Ambles, they have Brissett, they have Daniels. Getting Jr., I say, is probably the top receiver in the East. I mean, you could also... But what I'm saying is, Gittins Jr., you could say, okay, he's... I don't know how you would compare him to, like, Winnipeg's wide receivers. I'm just saying...
It's also kind of difficult because you also have to realize that as much as I love the Bombers receiving core, I would be stupid to ignore the fact that they also have the benefit of playing with Zach Galeros. The thing is that, like, realistically... Like maybe like a Wolotarski, maybe. Like Wolotarski, despite the fact that he's your number 3 or number 4 receiver in Winnipeg, he's like still really, really damn good. Actually, unless he might be number 5 this season, because if you think about it, you got Schoen, Lawler, Bailey, Dembski.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we already did the Winnipeg bid. But
I have something for you.
Yep.
Now their run game. Adrian Ouellette is now going to be their starter. Andrew Harris. Do you think he wins one more? Do you think he wins one more ring, or do you think he runs off into the sunset, begins his coaching career next year without a Grey Cup?
Do I think he's do I think he stays in Toronto and wins a Grey Cup there?
No. I'm saying this is his last year. Period.
Yes.
Like he's going into coaching next year. Yeah. So do you think Harris runs in, like, sails off into the sunset with another Grey Cup ring, or do you think like
do I think he wins the Grey Cup this year?
Yes.
Not with Toronto.
So I mean, what? Unless you trade him?
Unless it's one of those things where he somehow gets traded. Because I'll put it this way. Would I be completely surprised if a team like Toronto falls apart from Chad Kelly not being able to play the way that they hope, to the point where they decide that maybe Harris they move for a team that's desperate and looking for it? Possibly. I don't know. I don't think Andrew Harris gets another Grey Cup. I think he retires with that last one in Toronto.
And then Toronto trades the first round pick for Jordan Williams from BC. No, it wasn't the first overall. It was the first round pick. So Williams kind of is like the backup to Mwamba type thing. Yeah. I don't know if he plays the weak side or strong side. Then you have McManus. You got pick 6 from Montreal and Pickett.
Yeah.
As a and then it goes, you have Sean Oakman, you have Eric Sutton. Let's see here.
You got the list pulled up. You got the advantage in that.
You have McFadden, you have Mechie, you have Carnell the fourth, Ambrose. So I mean, it's the way that I will put this is Hamilton and Toronto will be neck and neck depending on who you talk to. I think it all comes down.
it all depends on if Chad Kelly it really embraces that spot as that number one QB, or if he struggles with inconsistency.
If Bo
He has
craps his head,
Toronto is on the same boat as the Stampeders and the Rough Riders in that regard, in the fact that please play well, you know.
well, no, because what I'm saying is it's based off like both teams have good receivers, both teams have good defense.
Yep.
Both teams, if Seth Small comes back, both teams have good kickers. It's going
I
to
think
come
Toronto
down
relies
to
more on the running game this year than they did than even last year.
yeah, but I mean you have Olette versus Butler, like
Yeah.
so I think it all
I like
comes
Olette
down
in that.
to
I do like Olette in that matchup. I will say.
yeah, I think it comes down to Bo versus Kelly.
Yeah,
Whoever comes out on top, they're gonna finish first.
that's why I put Hamilton as first. I think Bo Levi Mitchell wins that.
If
Like that's the thing. Bo Levi Mitchell has proven he can do that. Chad Kelly to me has not yet proven that.
if
That's why I'm not certain.
If Chad Kelly proves it, I could see them going 12-6, 13-5.
Yeah,
If he doesn't, then they're probably gonna go like 9-9, like 500, and
that's
make
the
the
thing.
playoffs.
Toronto for like if Chad Kelly plays the way he did in that Grey Cup, Toronto is looking at possibly getting back to that Grey Cup game. If Chad Kelly doesn't, I'm looking. I'm saying we're looking at a fringe playoff performer, like making it in that third spot.
So
So
not hosting a playoff game.
no, no, I don't think they host a playoff game if Chad Kelly doesn't perform the way that they need him to.
Wouldn't wouldn't that be something if Ottawa made the playoffs and beat Toronto, and then you have
Well,
Mazzoli
Ottawa, I
in
don't
Ottawa?
think is as bad as people think it is, because you also have to realize that they got screwed by injuries.
I mean, that's every team.
Well, not necessarily. Not
Well,
necessarily.
them, but
Not necessarily. But they had a good thing going, and injury really really blew their season up. Kind of the same way that, like, remember how we were talking about it with Saskatchewan and Calgary, that an injury to that top quarterback could really mess things up for them, in the sense of that's their
yeah,
hope. That was Toronto's hope with Jeremiah Mazzoli. Jeremiah Mazzoli was playing great, and then
Ottawa,
that
you mean,
happened.
not Toronto.
Or Ottawa, yes, sorry, my apologies. Yes, Jeremiah Mazzoli was playing great, and then that happened. But we will talk about Ottawa in the Ottawa video. So overall, I predict that Toronto finishes. I think they finished third in the East.
I know I'm kind of nervous for week 2 because Toronto has a bye. So either Hamilton's going to be 0-2 because they play Winnipeg week 1, or they're going to be 1-1 because if we lose to Winnipeg and we beat Toronto, then Toronto will be 0-1 to start the season.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think overall that pretty much covers what we need. Is there anything else that you got there,
Nope,
Rick?
I'm
No,
good.
I think that pretty much covers our preview of the Toronto Argonauts going into the season. Let me know what you guys think. How the Argonauts will do this season in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And tune in for the next one. We got these coming out for all the 9 teams in the Canadian Football League. And without further ado, thank you, and we will see you next time.